Okay, so the one thing that I do want to point out with the Italy for the initial owner of the stove is that the first time I started a fire in this thing, it has on the back here, I didn't pay attention to it as opposed to the Suprema and the Rosa, but if you look in the back here, you can see 6 holes on the back of the firebox. And I had everything open, all my draft controls fully open for starting a fire in the beginning. And I'd gotten my fire up and put one piece of wood in there. And if you got a good look at that.
Yep.
Okay. I put one piece of wood on top of my kindling pile, and this thing took off like an absolute beast. It started heating up really fast. It sounded almost like a jet starting up because of those 6 holes in the back of that. And looking at it more, when you have these draft controls open, that's almost it's like an assisting draft that is just, it's feeding that fire even more and more and more, so you're getting twice the actual draft out of it, and you're going to create a hotter fire much quicker than you will in the other 2 stoves. So that's something that you really want to pay attention to, and not over firing your stove. So that's the experience that I'd had opposed to the other 2 stoves. So that's just something to really pay attention to. And I'm sure that Woody had mentioned it before in the other videos, but you really, before you want to start these things up, you want to clean those tops off because of the preserving oil that they put on them from the factory. It's really not good to breathe the stuff, and it's just, you take an extra 15-20 minutes to clean it off, and you're going to have a lot less of a smoky house. So
they also won't turn brown or black. As you can see, this one's nice and shiny. If you leave the stuff on there, we'll go out and we'll look at the Suprema, and you can see the difference. But what it is a wax. I think it's used on guns to preserve them from rusting. So the only way you can get it off is mineral spirits and use a Scotch-Brite pad. And you kind of just take it, the mineral spirits, soak a rag, lay the rag on top of the stove. I actually took my my lids off and cleaned the edges and cleaned it all off really good on the other stove. So I had very little smoking. So we'll go out here and we'll look at the Suprema, and I'll show you the difference. You can kind of see how it turned brown. And that's what happens if you don't take the stuff off. So it literally doesn't look very good. So overall, what I've experienced so far, I would say this little stove actually is one of the better heaters of the 3 that we've tested so far. The other 2 are more radiant. This is more convection. A little bit more flimsier in just the general panels on the side, but I don't think you're going to be really touching these too much. They are, in my opinion, a little bit on the flimsy side. They could have done a better job with that, but the rest of the stove is solid. And I like the oven on this one better. It's not as big as the Suprema, but it's big enough for this cabin. Whereas the Rosa, I would say, is a little on the small side for the oven. And the manual says 4 inches of brick underneath. This stove has been running now for, quite some time. Here's your temperature readings of what's underneath this stove. So I'll leave it up to you. And underneath the firebox, sheet metal, and my measurements are no more than 78 degrees down here, and it's plenty cold. And then, so when you have the drawer in there, I would say doesn't seem to throw a whole lot of heat. So I don't know what to say. I have no idea why they want 4 inches of brick under there. But I just thought I would let you guys know. And so anyhow, there you have it. And this is Woody from Obadiah's. And this is the Italy.